Okay, now we're going to copy the file system to the my FS directory. So let's first create the directory. Then let's go there. Then we're going to copy these parts that make up the file system here. So we have 3 copies to do. Okay. And we've got to, we want to put in our init .rc. And we're done with the copy. Okay, now we're done building everything. Now we have to get it onto the Zoom2, and we're going to do that using a 2 GB SD card. I have that plugged into the Linux laptop right now, an SD card reader. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to format it, and then we're going to copy the files to it. To do this, let's get started with, take a look and see what information we have on the card right now. I just plugged it in, and you do an fdisk-l and you'll get the information. So we have this size on the card, and we also know that it is SDC is his name. And we need to take a note of this size for it. We're going to that'll help us set the number of cylinders later. So now we'll start up the disk application. Delete any partitions that may be there. This one doesn't have any. Go into expert mode. Set up the number of heads. Let's do 255. Set up the number of sectors. Let's do 63. Okay, do the number of cylinders, which is what we'll get from that calculation before, something like this. In this card it was a little lower, it was 239. Okay. Now we return from expert mode, set up a new partition, a new primary partition, number 1. This will be for the Xloader, U-boot, and kernel. Okay, first cylinder is 1, and we want to go this is the size we want to use to have enough room for everything on the kernel and the U-boot and the Xloader. And create the new partition number, primary partition number 2. This is for the Linux file system. So we'll start with the default here and end with the default. And now we just have to set those up. So set the first partition up for FAT32. Do a format that, and now we can see what we have on this card. So we have two partitions, SDC1 and SDC2, with the bulk of the size being ready there for the Android file system. So this is not written to the card yet until we do a W for write. Okay. And sometimes after that, Ubuntu will mount those. So we'll do this just to make sure we're not mounted at this point. Okay. Let's format partition 1. And then format partition 2. Okay, so now we just have to copy over the files. So let's go through this. We'll make a directory for mounting. For partition 1, partition 2. We'll mount SDC1 to MMC1. Okay, and then we'll copy in the X loader. And then we'll copy in the U-boot. And then we'll copy in the kernel. You can see these are all going on MMC1, the first partition. Okay. And then we'll copy in our file system directory, which we copied into before. It's going to take a little bit longer. Click there. Okay. And then we need to make that writable. Oh, it actually is taking a little bit longer. My MMC card's still blinking a little bit, so I might have to wait till that finishes. We'll try it now, see if we're ready. I think it's still busy. Oh, I might need to be super user here. Okay, so we're done with that. Now we just have to unmount. And we are done. And don't pull out the card until it stops the busy sign. But it looks like we're there. And we're now ready to boot and run off of an MMC card.